I'm Jeff Pospisil, the 10-Minute Treasurer, with practical advice for improving your church's financial future. And this is the very start of a 13-week series on the administrative committees for a church. So I'm talking about the trustees, the finance committee, and the staff pastor relations. And this also applies if you have a single board model, because you should still be caring for those functions. And I'm going to get real practical. What are the four basic tasks they need to look into? But before we go there, we need to make sure we have our mindset right on the purpose of these committees. So, as I was preparing for this series, the thought that came to me is that these committees are all about stewardship. They are all about stewardship. A lot of times we think of just the finance committee as being the stewardship type of committee because they're dealing with the money, and that just seems to be a close tie there. But the trustees, they are stewards of the property. So they are caring for the property. And the Staff Pastor Relations Committee, they are stewards of the personnel. And then all these committees, they are stewards of our congregations. All of them have a direct effect on our congregants. So when you're thinking about these, keep in mind that they are all about stewardship. Just a quick name drop here. The congregation there is Velva United Methodist Church, and the pastor is Deanne Edom, and the church building is Oaks United Methodist Church. The important concept to keep in mind when you're thinking about stewardship is that you are managing the property, the personnel, and the finances on behalf of the owner. And so a mistake to make is to manage it like it was your own property. But no, you need to manage it in a way that will be pleasing to the owner. And in this case, the owner is Jesus Christ. So when you make a property decision or a finance decision or a personnel decision, the filter you need to have is, will this make Jesus happy? Will this be something he'll be pleased with? And since Jesus normally doesn't come to our meetings in person or reply to our emails, the way to discern what would make Jesus happy starts with the charge conference or the all church meeting. So that is where we decide this is how Jesus wants us to run our church, how what would be pleasing to Jesus when we do it. So, and then in the interim, you have a leadership team or administrative council or church council, something of that nature, where these people are also in the business of discerning what is the will of Jesus Christ for our church. And so a mistake that's commonly made is that the finance committee starts thinking that they are the owner, or the SPRC or the trustees. They start thinking of themselves as the owner, but really they're stewards, and they need to work in relation to the administrative council and the charge conference, as those are the people that are the main ones in discerning what will be pleasing to Jesus Christ. And I'm going to talk real briefly here about the qualities you're looking for on a staff pastor relations, trustees, or finance committee. A lot of times we kind of pigeonhole certain people. If you're an accountant or a banker, you go on to finance. If you're a contractor or carpenter or a plumber, you go on to trustees. If you're an HR person, you go on to staff pastor relations. We kind of shoehorn people into places based on their skills and their experience, and some of that's not bad, but when those are really secondary attributes. One of the best finance committees I ever sat on, we did have an accountant, but we also had an artist and we had a teacher. And so you normally don't think of those people as being great finance people, but they were awesome. And it's because they had these primary characteristics first. So these are the things that are important. And especially next time you go to nominations, think about this. Are they a committed Christian? Are they generous financially and with their time and service? Are they passionate about our church? Is this something they get excited about? Do they have the time to be able to commit to this? Do they have leadership abilities where they don't get sucked into the weeds, but they start thinking about the church as a whole and not just down deep in the weeds? Are they curious? You know, a lot of times people come into the church and want to be in leadership because they're a critic, they're a professional critic, but are they curious to try to learn and think of new ways that we can better do ministry? So those are the qualities that I think are more important than, you know, do they know that debits are on the left and credits are on the right? So once you have great people on your committees, the next thing is, can you bring out the best in them? Can you use them the best way? And one of the finest chairpersons I've ever had the pleasure of working with is Elaine Roberts, who chairs the Board of Pensions for the Dakotas Conference. And I don't know if this comes naturally or if she plans it out or it's just something that's just become habit, but she does certain things that really do bring out the best in the committee and has made it one of the best committees I've had the pleasure of serving on. And so one of the things she does is she reminds us of the purpose of the committee and its importance in the overall mission. So, and in these administrative committees, it's easy to kind of forget that and want to go just do the tasks. But she always reminds us of the purpose and its importance in the bigger picture, because you'll come up against things that don't fit neatly into our work, and that helps us sort through those problems. The next thing is we end up getting specific tasks or goals, and I want to laugh at this, but she will come up with something to do, and instead of it just hanging out there, Elaine will voluntold somebody if there's no volunteers. So she'll assign somebody to make sure a task gets done, to make sure a goal gets set. So, and then there is a bias towards learning. Elaine has often sent members to learning events, and we've brought people in to help teach us. And so that is also one of our things, is she's developed curiosity in us. So I think those are some key things you can do. If you can continually remind people of the purpose and the importance of their work in the bigger picture, set down specific tasks and goals and people assigned to them, and then create those opportunities for learning, you will have a great administrative committee. All right, hopefully that gets you in the mindset for this whole series on these administrative committees. I'll be going through very specific tasks on what the staff pastor relations, trustees, and finance committee should be accomplishing. So, and hopefully it helps you nail those roles in your church and help your church be stronger. Again, this is a ministry of the Finance Office of the Dakotas Conference, as well as the Dakotas United Methodist Foundation, and you can find more of our stuff online at www.dakotasumc.org. All right, God bless you.